Ahead on NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
On this week's edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen, perspectives from members of Congress on the economic challenges impacting the beef industry. Plus, how one Texas feed yard is working to protect the environment.
And now, NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen with host Kevin Oxner.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Oxner. Thanks for joining us. Topping this week's cattle industry news, it's a step in the right direction for the United States beef industry. A final rule from USDA's Grain Inspection, Packers and Stockyards Administration, or GIPSA, has been submitted to the White House Office of Management and Budget. This final rule contains 4 out of 5 provisions included in the 2008 Farm Bill, and most importantly, will not have an impact on cattlemen. Action on the 5th provision, which relates to the definitions of unfair practices that could affect producers' ability to market cattle, has been postponed. While this is an encouraging news for the beef industry, NCBA Vice President of Government Affairs, Colin Woodall, says the fight is far from over.
We're optimistic with the news out of USDA on where they're going, but by far it is not a victory for us because by law in the Farm Bill, it said that USDA had to address the issue of competitive injury, undue preferences, and unfair practices. And because of that, we know that we will see an additional rule sometime in the future. Now, we've got a little bit more time to continue working this to try to find a permanent solution with the help of Congress. But if they do move forward with any of those provisions, it will have an impact on cattle marketing. So you've got to remain up to speed on this issue. Producers have to understand that GIPSA is not dead on this issue, and we've got to make sure that we continue to send the message to Capitol Hill that cattle producers have to have the right to market the cattle how they want to, where they want to, and under what conditions.
NCBA has been and will continue to be a leading voice against the proposed GIPSA rule. You can join the fight on Capitol Hill by becoming a member of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF. A representative is standing by right now to take your call. You can also join by visiting us online at beefusa.org. The proposed GIPSA rule isn't the only area of concern on Capitol Hill. We recently spoke with members of Congress to find out what they believe are some of the economic challenges impacting the beef industry in this week's Cattlemen's Capital Concerns.
Well, we have $14 trillion in debt. A lot of that is owed to China. I don't know how you stay a strong and leader in the world nation if you owe that kind of money to a foreign nation, one whose best interests are not necessarily your best interests. And that's a huge part of the concern. But anybody in the Rocky Mountain West knows that you can't spend more than you take in. You can't get away with that. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for families, and it doesn't work in Washington. Now, in Wyoming, we have a balanced budget component of our Constitution that you can't, in a year, and I was in the Wyoming State Senate for 5 years, you can't spend more than you take in as a state in any given year, which is why I'm a co-sponsor of saying we need to have a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution of the United States. Now, some folks have said, well, it's just a gimmick. Well, if it was a gimmick, Washington would have passed it a long time ago. It's not been passed because people want to overspend, and we need to not do that.
Well, we're on a collision course with disaster, quite frankly, and it's being driven by something we don't speak much about. It's going to be driven by interest payments. If we look at the ever-growing national debt, there is hard interest payments that we have to pay to service the debt. $260 billion last year alone. And you start to look at what could be done with resources like that to grow our economy, help our environment, do all the things we'd like to do if we weren't spending that much money on debt service. And as our debt continues to go up, our debt service continues to go up, and we're on a collision course, literally on a collision course with trying to finance debt in this country.
Everyone has now admitted that our problem is spending, that we are flat out spending too much. And unless we change our spending habits, this country is bankrupt by 2030. Our total debts will outpace our total assets. It is not a revenue problem. So the idea of just putting up more money is not solving a problem. It's a spending problem. What that also means is that we have forgotten the very concepts of federalism. See, what the Founding Fathers intended for us to do is take our core constitutional responsibilities and do them well, not do everything poorly. We are doing everything poorly. Even some of the programs that are going on right now don't have to go away, but they don't have to be run, organized, controlled, and funded from Washington.
Well, I have 7 grandkids, and that's who I think about in this regard. We'll muddle along over the next several years, but the same cannot be said about future generations of Americans. $15 trillion now in hard debt, 100+ trillion in unfunded promises that we've made to each other. A clear projection made by anybody who projects these things over the next 75 years show that we're on a path that is absolutely unsustainable. No one disputes that. There isn't anybody out there who's saying, well, the GAO is wrong, or OMB is wrong, or CBO is wrong. Everybody says, yes, these 75-year projections are pretty much what we think is going to happen.
I think I'm just like anybody else in America and concerned about the fact that we're spending more than we bring in. And just like families across America, they've got to make a determination of what luxuries they can afford and what they can't. And I think we can sum it all up with a simple thing, balanced budget amendment. If you want to know the truth of it, I think about 85% of America agrees with that. If Washington could balance their budget just like American people across the country have to do, I think we'd be in a lot better shape.
Do you have a message you want your members of Congress to hear? We have an easy way for you to find out more about the issues impacting cattlemen and make your voice heard. Just log on to beefusa.org and click Call to Action. The beef industry takes safety seriously and is committed to making continuous improvements in this area. Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Brian Baxter tells us how this year's annual safety summit plays a key role in advancing beef safety.
Beef safety has been and will always be an important goal of the beef industry.
If we want to grow demand, if we want to keep consumers really wanting our product, we have to demonstrate to them we have one of the safest products around. So from the standpoint of the sustainability and viability of our industry, safety has to be number one.
It takes cooperation among all members of the production and supply chain to provide the safest product. These joint efforts are coordinated through the Beef Industry Food Safety Council, or BIFSCO. BIFSCO holds an annual safety summit which brings every segment of the beef industry together in one room to focus on safety.
The Beef Safety Summit is made up of industry players in the beef industry, from myself as a beef producer, through packers, processors, wholesalers, retailers, and then also at the Beef Summit is academia. And what goes on here is that we come together and talk about beef safety.
And we want to bring all the facets, kind of the gate to the plate mentality, and involve everybody from the cow-calf sector to the consumer, and see where we can improve upon different points of exposure to where we can eliminate those or do the best we can to provide the most safest, wholesome product that we can.
Participants in the Safety Summit share solutions for current and emerging beef safety challenges, and attendees leave the meeting with tools that can be used in their businesses. Information at the summit is shared openly among people who often might be competitors.
We've all taken the pledge, we signed it years ago, that there would be no secrets in food safety, that we're going to share openly with the best practices, and we're going to be frank and honest in our discussions of those.
It's a very open forum that we are able to use to share ideas. The best practices that come out of this gathering have been great tools for the industry over the years to provide others the tools they need to keep up with what's going on and provide safe food.
Dr. Elizabeth Hagan gave the keynote address at this year's event. The USDA Undersecretary for Food Safety stressed that science, data, and research are the best tools to protect consumers.
This is a terrific group. I mean, these are the leaders in the industry. These are the people who care most about food safety in the beef industry, and bringing all these people together from, producers to packers to processors to retailers. This is just it's a tremendous opportunity to get together with the right people and talk about important ideas.
The safety of beef has always been a priority issue for cattlemen, and producers have invested more than $29 million in beef safety since 1993.
That $29 million is leveraged with about $350 million with industry dollars. That helps us focus those dollars in the industry where they need to be focused and just get the best use of those research and promotional dollars.
I think by using these checkoff funds and including all the people that handle our product, we minimize the risk and we accomplish a lot of the challenges because everybody's working together in a unified structure.
Because of these cooperative efforts, all segments of the beef industry from pasture to plate have the most up-to-date information necessary to ensure a safe product.
The thing that we've learned is that there is no silver bullet. If we're going to be effective in having the best beef safety program around, that means we have to have interventions from one end of the process to the other.
What we may have accomplished today opens up new insights for tomorrow, and there'll be more challenges. We're never going to tackle it all, but we take it one piece at a time.
I always come away with a confidence in the system that we do have, that we are doing the best we can and always trying to make it better. And I also am motivated to do the best that I can in my operation, in our link in that chain, so that we can bring consumers the safest and best product every time they sit down and have a meal.
Reporting from the Beef Safety Summit in Dallas, Texas, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Plans are already underway for next year's annual Beef Safety Summit. And here in the studio to talk more about what we can expect at the 2012 meeting is Bo Reagan, Senior Vice President of Research, Education, and Innovation for NCBA. Bo, thanks for coming to the show.
You bet. Good to be with you again.
Well, first of all, give folks just an overview of what the Beef Safety Summit is all about.
Okay, the Beef Safety Summit is actually a brainchild from our Beef Industry Food Safety Council, which was initiated, as you all know, in 1997. What the council got thinking about is that as we looked at all the issues with food safety, we needed some way once a year that we could unite the industry together to come together to talk about problems. And so what we did in 2003, we had our first Beef Safety Summit that was sponsored by BIFSCO as well as the Beef Checkoff. And since then, we've been having it every year. And so this is a meeting that includes the beef industry from one end to the other, all the way from the gate to the plate. And the focus at this meeting is 100% on beef safety.
And who typically attends, first of all, and I guess secondly, who is the primary sponsor of the meeting?
Well, we actually have two sponsors. We started out with the Beef Checkoff. Since we started, the BIFSCO group, or people that were coming to that meeting, they said, we want to form beef industry food safety membership. And so those guys kick in money each year to help fund that. People that attend, I guess we have people all the way from pre-harvest all the way through retail, food service. They come in for the program.
That's outstanding. Now, I understand this really is the most premier program and meeting of its kind in terms of beef safety. What makes this such a special and unique event?
It is unique. You know, what's really unique about it, we refer to as a family meeting. And by that, what we talk about, what we're referring to is that we, again, people all the way through the chain are there. We do not allow media. We do not allow government regulators to attend. And so it's really a closed session. We come in and we talk about problems. We talk about strategies, how to address the issues in the area of food safety. We share learnings. We have competitors that are actually sharing micro data together and say, you know, if you do this, think you can do a better job on enhancing the safety of your product. So it's very unique from that perspective. The other thing that's been unique about that meeting is that is the group that came up with the idea we need to develop best practices all the way through the chain. And so we use their expertise to develop best practices all the way, starting at the cow-calf level, feed yard, we go all the way through retail food service. So it's Very, very unique.
That is a unique meeting. And I don't know if you can, but could you give us a preview of some of the topics that are going to be talked about in the 2012 meeting?
Sure. One thing we're going to do, one thing I didn't mention about the meeting is that we really address hot topics there.
Okay.
And we've actually used the summit to help prepare our industry to be more proactive in addressing safety. A great example, we've worked on E. coli for many, many years. Mm-hmm. Last year we started talking about non-0157s, all the cousins and grandchildren and stuff of 0157,
right?
Because we knew that was coming down the line. We talked about that last year. That actually gave us a year to get prepared because 2 months ago USDA came out and said, guys, March 5th we're going to start testing for it.
Yep.
So we've been able to be real proactive there. So with that coming to be just about the time of the summit, March 7th through 9th. Mm-hmm. That will certainly be on the agenda. Mm-hmm. Another hot one will be salmonella. We're having more issues there. We're going to be talking about protecting the brand. And actually, this 10th anniversary meeting, it's on the eve of being the 20-year anniversary of the Jack in the Box outbreak.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're going to do a special look back at that and have some real important people that were involved in that talk about where we were then and how we've got to where we are today and what we've learned, and also take a really hard look looking forward. What do we expect the next few years?
Very good. Well, Bo, thanks so much for coming to the show, and most importantly, thank you for everything you've done for the beef industry, you and your team, as it relates to safety. It's such a critical element of our industry.
Okay. Thank you very much.
For more information about the 2012 Beef Safety Summit, just visit our website at cattlemen2cattlemen.org. Ahead on NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
We've been able to take a lot of pressure off of the pastures, but not lose any calf production.
How a sustained nutrition program can help improve operations facing tough weather. Plus, we spent a day in the life of one Texas feed yard that's working hard to protect the environment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You're watching NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen on RFD TV.
Well, I think a rancher has to be a steward of the land. There's nobody else that can take care of land better than a rancher. When we switched over to the Purina products, it was a step in the right direction.
The difference we see in the cattle is the consistency of their nutrition.
The cattle hold their condition a lot better throughout the whole year.
It does make a difference that we can see, day in and day out.
Take the 60-day challenge and save up to $55 on Purina feed. Sign up at purinadifference.com.
Hi there, I'm Joey.
And I'm Rory, and welcome to our farm outside Nashville, Tennessee. When we go to work, whether it's on tour or here at home, we wear the West.
That's right. Whether it's that perfect snap shirt or that perfect pair of boots, when you wear Roper, you wear the West.
Learn more about us, Joey and Rory, and about Roper Western Wear at eroper.com.
Telling the truth and being real and feeding my family a home-cooked meal, that's important to me. That's important to me. And planting the garden and watching it grow.
Comprehensive, practical, powerful. Now's the time to put the power of DNA to work in your herd with the comprehensive Identity Profile. The inside information from Identity can help you make more confident replacement heifer and herd sire selection decisions, add marketability to your feeder cattle, make faster genetic progress, and more. The best time to get started is when you're already working cattle, during branding, weaning, or bull soundness exams. Get started today. Visit iGenity.com or call 1-877-IGENITY to put the power of DNA to work in your herd.
Welcome back. For several weeks now, we've been visiting operations coping with historic drought conditions. Many ranches are working hard to ride out the drought. Some have succeeded by planning ahead and carefully managing their resources. They've also been keeping their cattle healthy by using products like Purina's Sustained Nutrition Program. Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Brian Baxter has more from South Texas.
The Armstrong Ranch was originally established in 1852 with a Spanish land grant, and the operation has always been a continuous cattle operation from day one. Tobin Armstrong helped establish the Santa Gertrudis breed here at the ranch, and he passed away in 2005. I took over in 2007 and worked for Ann Armstrong, his wife, and their 5 children. And we've had the wonderful experiences of having some wonderful dignitaries come and visit. Ann Armstrong was a diplomat to England in the 70s, and just a wonderful lady. And from there, we've grown the operation. We've spread it to be a little more diverse. We've got cow-calf operation with the Santa Gertrudis cows. We also run our own stockers. It's about a 2,000 animal unit ranch, and we've diversified the breeding operation as well. We're now running Charolais bulls and Hereford bulls on the straight girt cows, and trying to produce a more marketable calf, as well as a more genetically balanced calf for our environment.
The Armstrong Ranch takes pride in its history, its management operations, and its ability to maintain cattle across its vast holdings. For several years now, Cody Fry has been working with his Purina representative to make sure those animals remain healthy and productive by using a sustained nutrition program.
Sustained nutrition in a nutshell is keeping that brood cow in a body condition score between 5 and 6 on a year-round basis. The current paradigm in the cow-calf business is to let her kind of slide while she's in that gestational period, when she's not really raising a calf, right before she calves, and then bringing her back around. Well, some good research indicates that fetal programming effects have a drastic effect on the fertility of that offspring, as well as their survivability, and as well as their ability to grow when they do hit the ground. So Purina has been doing this for a long time with year-round supplementation programs.
In normal times, the sustained nutrition program we use is basically to complement the grass that we have. We've got mainly native grasses, blue stems, our primary grasses, but we also have a type of grass that's called Gulf Coast cordgrass, which is a very coarse grass that cattle don't prefer unless it's burned. But with the native grasses in this cordgrass, the AccuRation 3210 product that we're using allows us to stretch this grass. We run into many times during the year when the grass is just, the quality is very poor. We get below 4% crude protein, but we have an abundance of it. So the AccuRation product helps extend that grass. We're able to get increased consumption of the grass, and therefore it has definitely improved our body conditions scores of our cows, and we've seen increased weaning weights to also complement that as well.
Cody says the ranch has been through 2 droughts over the past 4 years. This year has brought only about half the expected rainfall, further affecting the quality and quantity of the operation's grass production.
The AccuRation product that we're using has helped stretch what we do have. We've decreased our cow herd size down from about 1,600 cows to now we're about 1,100 cows. We're running fewer stockers. We're also having to move those stockers a lot sooner than what we'd prefer. But you know, with all being said, like I said, we've been very blessed with the rains that we've had, and we're going to try to hold on to this base cow herd that we have now and try to take advantage of the improved market conditions in the years to come.
And what we've done at Armstrong Ranch to help get at that is we've put liquid feeders close to watering areas. That way the cows are coming to water. They can also get some supplement while they're at the watering station, and they can go back out and graze these extensive pastures. And because Cody's done a really good job of keeping his stocking rate correct, and also done a better job with water distribution, now we're able to touch all these cows on a daily basis, really, with supplement as well. And because of that, we've got better body condition score on a year-round basis, even in a severe drought like we're in today.
The liquid AccuRation, that's we've used a liquid product from day one with Purina, and the way we're using it is basically we set up feeders close to each of our water holes. Our average pasture size is about 5,000 acres, so the best way for us to that we found to get the consumption that these cows need is to put them close to the water holes. And with that theory in mind, what we've seen is we're getting about a 3/4 of a pound to 1.5 pounds a day consumption on average in the different pastures.
We'll head back to Texas for more on Purina's Sustained Nutrition Program when we return. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You're not responsible for the weather, just the cattle. And Rangeland works as hard as you do to deliver performance, production, and profitability. Cattle need consistent nutrition. They'll get it year-round with Rangeland products from Land O'Lakes. Deliver what they need free choice in weather-resistant loose minerals and mineral and protein tubs. Get the most out of your forage. See your Land O'Lakes Co-op for products that will stand up to whatever Mother Nature throws at us. Weather's coming in. Rangeland. Consider it done.
When it comes to versatility on your operation, nothing beats a John Deere D-Series skid steer. They're not only great for cleaning and feed chores, but with John Deere Worksite Pro attachments, you can tackle just about any job thrown your way. You asked for versatility, and John Deere delivered. These rock-solid machines are built to last. See your dealer today.
Welcome back. Let's return to reporter Brian Baxter, who's learning more about ways producers can keep their cattle healthy during harsh weather conditions.
Purina's Sustained Nutrition Program has helped Cody Fry bring down his labor costs, reducing the number of people needed to feed the cattle. In spite of significant culling, the ranch is getting about the same number of calves as it produced 4 years ago.
So if that tells you anything right there, I'm tickled pink. We've been able to take a lot of pressure off of the pastures, but not lose any calf production. So very pleased. And the weaning weights have improved by over 50 pounds. It's been a great turnaround for us, and I'm looking forward to the higher markets, hoping that they'll stay high. And you can buy a lot of feed with a high price market, and so I'm very confident that that we're going to do well and just keep pushing these cows to be more selective and pick those cows that are easy doing, and I think we're on the right track.
AccuRation liquid being out on a year-round basis allows that cow again to eat what she needs on a daily basis when she needs it, so that we're not in that overconsumption and underconsumption type area. And because of that, because we keep her in better condition on a year-round basis, that allows that cow never to slip back to a point where she has to make up condition to get back in shape to where she can get bred. So a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of things that cow's going to take care of from a requirement standpoint before her body tells her it's okay for her to get bred back. It's essentially a matter of survival. That's the way God created cows, and that's the way that God created people. You have to take care of their maintenance requirement, if they're still growing, their growth requirement, their lactation requirement, and then their body tells them it's okay to get bred back. So you have to take care of all those requirements regardless of what your conditions are before she's going to get bred back. And having a supplement out on a year-round basis really helps achieve that.
Dr. Farmer says ranchers should remember that even during a drought, a cow's nutrition requirements remain the same.
What changes is her ability to meet that requirement from the forage base that they did have. So they've got to go at it two different ways. If they run out of grass, they have to start providing more supplemental feed to actually substitute for the grass that used to be there. Or in the case of Armstrong Ranch, they've done a good job of putting a stocking rate in place that really better gets at managing through these droughts that they continually have to work through. And because of that, they have stockpiled forage that a lot of ranchers don't have, so they can continue to use a program like AccuRation Liquid that's actually a supplement to the grass, and it really keeps their cow cost less expensive than having to feed them more to make up for what the grass doesn't give them. The fact of the matter is, if you're not looking at it long term, and if you're not looking at it as drought is no longer the exception, it's the rule, then you don't make those kinds of decisions to cut down on your cow herd to where you have that stockpile grass to where you can use a lower supplementation rate to get through these tough times.
I'm very optimistic the industry will come out of this. The ranchers, they're a totally different set of people than what the rest of the world is made up of, and there's very few of us left, and that's the unfortunate part. Just a great quality of people, very strong, very strong-willed, sometimes stubborn, and you know, but we're going to learn a lot from this. I truly believe that all ranchers will learn a lot from this drought, and it makes you smarter. It makes you a better producer. It makes you a lot smarter when it comes to looking at your finances, and it's really made me sharpen my pencil. And you know, you got to take what God gives you, and this is what He's given us right now. And I believe it's going to make me a better manager, and I believe it's going to make all ranchers better managers out of this deal.
Reporting from Armstrong, Texas, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
For more information about Purina's products, visit our website at cattlementocattlemen.org. The NCBA site also has a list of drought and disaster-related assistance programs available for cattlemen and women across the country. Just go to beefusa.org and search for drought assistance. We'll be right back.
These days, more cattlemen choose Draxxin to fight BRD than any other brand. Here's why.
It works. We have fewer repulls, and the ones that we do repull respond, and we have fewer chronics in the end.
To retreat anything it's a lot more expensive than using Draxxin as a first time.
And the evidence backs up what most cattlemen already know. Draxxin cuts retreats by 50%. So talk to your veterinarian and check the online calculator at Draxxin.com. You'll see why Draxxin should be your first choice to fight BRD.
Basically what it's allowed us to do with our operation is run more cattle through in a given period of time. It's just really been a good product to use.
Do not use in female dairy cattle 20 months of age or older. Do not use in calves to be processed for veal. Draxxin has a pre-slaughter withdrawal time of 18 days. Please visit Draxxin.com or call 1-888-DRAXXIN for more information.
Welcome back. Since its start more than 40 years ago, the Texas Cattle Feeders Association has become one of the most influential organizations in American agriculture. The association is proud of the lead it takes when it comes to political and industry issues, and over the years, it's helped the Lone Star State become the nation's leader in cattle feeding. Reporter Dave Russell visits one of the state's veteran operations, Hansford County Feeders.
As far as Beau Kazar is concerned, Texas has the nation's best climate when it comes to feeding cattle. Kazar is feed yard manager at Hansford County Feeders in Spearman. He was raised on a local ranch, and as soon as he was big enough to get on a horse, he was trained by his father to become a cowboy.
When I was about 16 years old, I went to a feed yard for the first time. And I remember pulling on that feed yard, and they had cattle in the pens, and I'd been used to yearling cattle or calves all my life, and that was the first fat cattle that I saw, and I couldn't believe how big they could get. I worked summers there in between high school and in between college, and then after a couple of years of college, I came back and kind of started in the feed yards. I went to work full-time for Cargill in 1974, and I was with them for 26 years. Left there and for a couple of years on my own, and then decided to come back to the feed yards, and I've been here ever since 2003.
Hansford's mission is to provide cattle with the best possible facility during their finishing phase, using humane handling practices and minimizing stress on the animals.
We're an independent feed yard, and we get up every morning coming to provide quality care to our cattle. We do that because we like cattle, we enjoy working with cattle, and to make a profit. Certainly we do that. Our people that work with me here, the 38 other employees, I believe that every one of them does the same thing. I think they come to work wanting to do a good job, understanding how to do that, and they go about it throughout the day. We always get curves thrown at us, but these guys have become pretty good curveball hitters, and I'm very proud of the folks that I work with.
The facility's mill starts at 6 every morning, and the cattle are fed 3 times daily. But Bo says their operation is nonstop.
We receive cattle 24/7. We'll get cattle in at night. We'll get cattle in all during the day. We have night security, not people that are here during the night to receive cattle, to read the bunks, to make sure that there's no problems that occur in that time that jeopardizes the cattle or the operation. So we're going 24 hours a day and taking care of it.
Kazar says his business lends itself naturally to conservation, land management, and environmental protection, particularly the handling of wastewater.
I mean, it's just a natural step to want to take care of the land and to manage our resources. So when we think in terms of how much water we're pumping, you know, we're not going to be wasteful of that. We're going to try to use it in the best possible manner.
Bo is serving as chair of the Texas Cattle Feeders this year, a position he says he never imagined for himself. But he's honored by the role the association has played over the years in helping to keep the industry viable.
The restrictions that we've avoided by bringing science to the table and helping people understand that their perceptions were not true, and that some regulations that they thought to impose that they were not necessary. But that staff can't do it all by themselves. It takes volunteers to the association, becoming involved in that association, and even if you're not in the association, as an individual, as a citizen of this country, we need to be involved in what's going on.
Like a lot of people, Kazar is concerned by the current diminished cow herd numbers. In the past, he says, people would be encouraged to build up those herds.
They're having to make tough decisions, and probably not, as far as I'm concerned, not making the right decision at this point, because I need them to be holding those heifers. I need them to be expanding the cow herd and get us going. And today we believe that we're short of numbers. I think our price indicates that our product is in short supply, and if we start today, we're 3 to 4 years from effectively influencing those available feeder numbers.
He also believes it's time to end corn subsidies for ethanol.
A big part of what we do here is buy and sell corn through these cattle to make our beef. Our corn prices have really gotten elevated. We're in competition with the ethanol companies, and we have the ethanol subsidies, and they probably had a place in the beginnings of those companies, but they're mature businesses now, and they no longer need that subsidy to compete, and it puts us, when we're out heads to heads with the ethanol people bidding on corn, their subsidies allows them an unfair advantage in calculating the profitability of that input into their cost structure.
Given all the challenges, Kazar still sees a bright future for U.S. beef as international markets expand and economies improve.
Back in the 80s, we talked about our industry being a mature industry, and the way that was explained to me was that we're just going to be static. There's not going to be much growth, and so we have to learn to function within those parameters. I don't buy that. I truly think that we'll see an expanding demand and opportunities if we do it right. You know, our marketplace is the world, and we can be the preferred supplier.
Reporting from Hansford County Feeders in Spearman, Texas, I'm Dave Russell for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
To join Bo Kazar as a member of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF. A representative is standing by right now to take your call. You can also become a member by visiting us online at beefusa.org. And we'll be right back.
You know open cows are one of the biggest risks you face. So, declare it's closing time for reproductive diseases. Do it with Express FP. Protect your cows from lepto, vibrio, BVD, all in one syringe. I mean, think about it. Your business thrives on a healthy crop of calves. Better lock those diseases out of your herd and out of your pocket. Take care of your cattle, and they'll take care of you.
I am an NCBA member.
I am an NCBA member.
NCBA is my eyes and ears, and most importantly, my voice, because I can't be on Capitol Hill all the time. But my membership through NCBA has people that are there that know what my concerns are and can inform me when those issues come up that are affecting my day-to-day operations and can take actions on those appropriately.
I'm an NCBA member.
I'm an NCBA member because I believe that this organization is determined to preserve the way of life that those of us growing up in the cattle industry have grown to love.
I am an NCBA member.
I am an NCBA member.
I am an NCBA member.
Join me today.
Welcome back. One of the highlights each year for many cattlemen is the Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show. It's a time to get together with fellow producers, attend important industry meetings, and of course, to have a little fun along the way. With the 2012 convention right around the corner, we ask our fellow cattlemen and women to give us their thoughts on why you should attend this meeting.
It is such a good opportunity to come and see what the whole industry as a whole is doing for the business. It's amazing, both in promotion areas as well as the areas where we're working with government agencies and trying to move the industry forward there, trying to get more access for markets and things. We get isolated in our own little areas, but when we come here, you get the whole broad spectrum.
Actually, we come down here to get caught up and meet other industry leaders. It's actually local since we're only about 60 miles away, so can't dare to miss it. So everything's taken care of at the shop, so I head down here for the day.
Well, I think the NCBA trade show is one of the best industry trade shows I've ever been to. There's so much under one roof to see that you can't take it in one setting. It's definitely have to spend 3 days going through it.
Well, we got in the trade show last night, which it's awesome. I mean, you know, I've been to several of these, and it's just awesome. Staff's done a good job putting that there, and it's good to see all those folks wanting to be a part of our business here supporting us. The other part of it's the people. Getting to watch the committees work, getting to interact with folks that you've worked with on committees off and on and have met over the years, and it's just kind of like a little bit of a family reunion. We all get reacquainted and complain about the weather or whatever else is wrong with us and kind of enjoy our time here.
Well, they call it the beef industry convention for a reason, because everybody that has a stake in beef comes to this meeting. But as a cattleman, this is where I can learn more in a few days about what's going on than I can in a month of reading. So I come to learn what's going on and try to participate as best I can to shape our future.
Well, I'm here because I'm hoping I'm going to be able to make a difference. So one of the things that I think all cattlemen need to work on is voicing their opinions and getting involved, sharing their talents so that the whole industry can benefit.
And here in the studio to talk more about the 2012 Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show in Nashville, Tennessee, is Kristen Torres, Senior Director of Association Marketing for NCBA. Kristen, thanks for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, tell us just a little bit about the convention itself. I hear you have a wonderful lineup of speakers scheduled this year.
Absolutely, we do. We've been working hard all year to get some great speakers booked for this event. Our opening general session will have Navy SEAL Marcus Luttrell. He's the author of Lone Survivor. And our general session 2 this year is going to be a great debate between Cal Thomas and Bob Bechtel. And they talk about reaching common ground with both sides of political lines.
Well, that should be an interesting one and a timely one as well. What about other events and activities that cattlemen and cattlewomen can participate in while they're at the convention?
Sure, yeah, we have a whole lot of fun planned for this event. We have an exclusive Grand Ole Opry event where we're going to have Montgomery Gentry, Charlie Pride, Eden's Edge, and comedian Henry Cho. That's going to be a great lineup. On Thursday night of the event, we're going to have a great honky-tonk party on the Delta Island. We'll have live music all week long. And we also have the largest trade show for the cattle industry that will be happening in conjunction with the convention. There'll be 250 exhibitors there, showcasing all the latest in technology and products for the cattle industry.
Yeah, that's always a highlight of the show. Now, are there some specific incentives that people get for attending this year?
Absolutely. Anyone that registers for the full convention, the full 4 days, receives a 50% off coupon that they can use in the Roper and Stetson booth inside the trade show. They also receive 25% off their entire purchase.
That's outstanding. That's worth the price of admission right there.
Absolutely.
And tell us this, for folks who haven't registered but want to, where do you send them?
Absolutely. They can register online at beefusa.org, and if they need to do that over the phone or via fax, they can call our offices at 303-694-0305, and they'll get them taken care of.
Well, Christian, you and your team seem to top each convention each and every year. I'm looking forward to this one in Music City.
Great.
We'd sure love to see you in Nashville, Tennessee, February 1st through the 4th for the 2012 Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show. To register, just visit us at beefusa.org. Would you like to win a free convention registration? Just visit our website at cattlementocattlemen.org and click on Tell Us What You Think. One lucky person who takes the survey during the month of November will win a free registration to the Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show in Nashville, plus a Cattlemen to Cattlemen gift basket. Now there's also another way to win. Just send us your favorite farm or ranch picture at C2C at beef.org. We'll post all the entries on the Facebook the first week of December, and the photo with the most likes will also receive a free convention registration and a C2C gift basket. You can always find us on Facebook by searching NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Stay with us. Baxter Black is up next.
We know who made that hitch. We know who cut the steel, who milled the ball, and who welded the seams. We know who tested, measured, and checked. We even know who thought the whole thing up. We're B&W, and we know your hitch. Because we don't make them halfway around the world. We make them all right here. B&W. Trusted.
Sometimes you feel like a block, and sometimes you don't. That's why Sweet Licks gives you a choice, in the bag, in the block, or in the tub. And Sweet Licks offers a complete line of vitamin, mineral, protein, and medicated nutritional supplements in the form you want to satisfy even the most discriminating domestic livestock, even the gourmet goat, or the finicky fowl, or the connoisseur cow. For information, 187 Sweet Licks. Profitability never tasted so sweet. Ad companies are always on the lookout for new inventions they can market for millions. On a trip to Cedarville a while back, Rachel and James told me a story that I immediately recognized for its mass marketing advertising potential. It seems Uncle Jack had diagnosed bilateral pink eye in one of his black bulls. I know, but it's their story. Uncle Jack decided to treat it with a big shot of antibiotic. Well, the bull was difficult to push, much less to get into a corral, so Uncle Jack figured if they could drive up next to it and administer the dose freehand, that would be the easy way. Well, they tried to, but the bull was too skittish. What to do? What to do? Just as fear is the father of fence chargers, and whacking your thumb is the stepfather of cussing, so is necessity the mother of invention. Uncle Jack set about constructing the plastic syringe injection extender. He used a 60cc plastic disposable syringe, 4 feet of large PVC pipe, 4.5 feet of smaller PVC pipe, hose clamps, baling wire, and duct tape. He taped the big PVC pipe to the syringe and then inserted the smaller PVC pipe inside the larger to act as a plunger, and voila! Can't you just see the carnival barker now demonstrating this syringe extender on sliced cantaloupe and anesthetized polar bear? For the maiden run, they took the pickup. Rachel was driving and James was coaching as Uncle Jack leaned out of the pickup bed shouting directions. Closer, too fast, drop back, hard, go right, now! With the coolness of Captain Ahab harpooning a white whale, Jack drove home the syringe extender javelin. The blind bull pivoted perpendicular to the pickup, tore the side mirror off, and jerked Uncle Jack overboard. Gosh, I asked James, was the mirror the only thing he broke? No, said James, but that was the one we fixed. This is Baxter Black from out there.
Thanks, Baxter. Let's take a moment to look at this week's legacy photos from around the country. Do you have a favorite picture of your farm or ranch you'd like to share? Send it to us by visiting our website at cattlementocattlemen.org. Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. We'll see you right back here next week on RFD TV.